Have you ever wondered what truly drives people? What hidden forces dictate success, failure, and the intricate dance of human interaction? What if there was a timeless guide, a raw blueprint to understanding the levers of influence and the deep currents of the human mind? Welcome to The Obscure Mind, where we delve into the depths of human psychology, unraveling the complexities that shape our world. Today, we're stepping into the controversial, yet undeniably insightful, realm of Robert Greene's magnum opus, The 48 Laws of Power. Robert Greene is no stranger to challenging conventional wisdom. His work is a meticulous study of history's most cunning figures, from ancient emperors to modern-day titans, distilling their strategies into a set of principles that, while often stark, offer an unparalleled lens into human behavior. The 48 Laws of Power isn't just a book, it's a profound psychological text, dissecting ambition, manipulation, and the eternal quest for control. Our purpose today isn't to advocate for these laws as moral imperatives, but rather to illuminate their psychological underpinnings. By understanding why these laws resonate and how they've been applied throughout history, we gain crucial insights into human nature, allowing us to navigate complex social landscapes with greater awareness and strategic foresight. Think of it as a psychological toolkit, not for ill intent, but for deeper comprehension of the human game. We'll explore a select few of these potent laws, revealing their relevance in our modern lives. Let's begin our journey into the intricate workings of power, starting with a law that highlights the subtle art of misdirection. Law 3, Conceal Your Intentions. Law number 3 states, conceal your intentions. At its core, this law speaks to a fundamental psychological truth: humans are inherently wary of the unknown and often distrust overt displays of ambition. When your intentions are laid bare, you become predictable, and thus, vulnerable. Psychologically, concealing intentions plays on our cognitive biases, particularly the hindsight bias and the fundamental attribution error. We tend to look back and believe we knew what was happening all along, even when presented with new information. By keeping your true aims hidden, you prevent others from forming premature judgments or taking preemptive action against you. It creates an aura of mystery, allowing you to operate from a position of strategic ambiguity. Consider the brilliant military campaigns where generals employed feints and misdirection, leading their enemies to believe one thing while preparing for another. Sun Tzu, the ancient Chinese strategist, famously advocated for deceiving one's enemies, saying, "All warfare is based on deception." In modern life, this law isn't about grand deceptions, but about strategic discretion. In business, revealing your full strategy too early can give competitors a head start. In negotiations, letting the other party guess your true bottom line gives you leverage. Think about a job interview. You might express enthusiasm for the role, but you don't immediately reveal your desperation or all your other job offers. This isn't dishonest, it's understanding the psychological give and take. It's about letting your actions speak louder than your words, often after the fact. The takeaway: cultivate an air of unpredictability. Let people speculate, but never give them concrete proof until it serves your purpose. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. From the subtle art of concealment, we pivot to its apparent opposite, yet equally powerful principle, law number 6, court attention at all costs. This law taps into our deep-seated need for recognition and the power of perception. In a crowded world, to be ignored is to be irrelevant. Attention is a form of social currency, and its acquisition is paramount for influence. This law is deeply rooted in social psychology. Humans are social creatures, and our perception of others is heavily influenced by their perceived status and visibility. Availability heuristic suggests that we tend to give more weight to information that is easily recalled or readily available, and what's more readily available than someone consistently in the spotlight? Consider figures like Oscar Wilde, who mastered the art of drawing attention through wit, scandal, and flamboyant behavior, ensuring he was always the talk of London. Or the modern-day influencer who meticulously crafts their online presence, understanding that visibility translates directly into influence and opportunity. They understand that even negative attention is often better than no attention at all, as it still places you in the public consciousness. In our increasingly digital age, this law is more relevant than ever. For individuals, it means cultivating a unique personal brand, showcasing your strengths, and making yourself indispensable or memorable. In a professional setting, it could be volunteering for high-profile projects, or ensuring your accomplishments are known. However, the psychological trap here is to confuse genuine value with mere noise. The key is to court attention for something substantive, or to use the attention to create something substantive. Don't be afraid to stand out, but ensure you have something worth standing out for. The goal isn't just to be seen, but to be seen as significant. Law 9, win through your actions, never through argument. Now, let's explore a law that challenges our innate desire to be right and highlights the futility of verbal battles. Law number 9, win through your actions, never through argument. This law profoundly understands human ego and the stubborn nature of belief. When you argue, you are often attempting to dismantle someone's carefully constructed worldview, which they will resist with all their might. This law taps into the concept of cognitive dissonance and the backfire effect. When confronted with evidence that contradicts their beliefs, people often double down on their original stance rather than admitting they were wrong. An argument, no matter how logical, can feel like a personal attack, triggering defensiveness. Consider the countless historical figures who tried to convert populations through forceful debate, often failing miserably. Instead, those who brought about change did so through demonstrative actions. For instance, think of a revolutionary inventor who didn't just argue about the superiority of their invention but demonstrated its effectiveness, making it undeniable. Actions bypass the ego's defenses. In daily life, how often do we get caught in endless debates, trying to convince someone of our viewpoint? Whether it's a colleague, a family member, or a stranger online, arguing rarely changes minds and often creates resentment. The psychological takeaway here is simple but powerful: show, don't tell. If you want to prove a point, demonstrate it through results. If you want to convince someone of your value, deliver exceptional work. Your accomplishments are far more persuasive than any words you could utter. By letting your actions speak, you circumvent resistance and allow people to discover the truth for themselves, which they are far more likely to accept. Law 15, crush your enemy totally. This next law is perhaps one of the most ruthless, but its psychological basis is undeniable. Law number 15, crush your enemy totally. This law posits that a partially defeated enemy is a dangerous enemy. Leave them with hope, and they will plot their revenge. The psychological principle here is about eliminating future threats by removing their capacity and will to retaliate. This law speaks to the concept of loss aversion and the human tendency for revenge and retribution. A person who has lost something, but not everything, will often be driven by an intense desire to regain what they've lost, or to inflict pain on those they blame. History is replete with examples: Roman generals who completely annihilated opposing forces and absorbed their territories, thereby preventing future rebellions. Or, on a grander scale, the complete dismantling of a regime after a war to ensure no counter-revolution. When an enemy is utterly disempowered, psychologically, their hope for comeback dwindles, and with it, their motivation for revenge. In a modern, less literal context, crushing an enemy isn't about physical destruction, but about neutralizing threats decisively. In business, this might mean out-innovating a competitor to the point where their product becomes obsolete, rather than merely gaining a small market share. In a more personal sense, it could involve completely disengaging from a toxic relationship, cutting off all avenues for them to re-enter your life and cause further harm. The psychological lesson is about preventative measures and understanding that half measures can often prolong conflict and generate greater future risk. It's about making a clear, definitive break or victory, leaving no room for lingering resentment to fester into future problems. Law 16, use absence to increase respect and honor. From the stark realities of conflict, let's explore a more subtle, yet equally potent, psychological tool. Law number 16, use absence to increase respect and honor. This law is founded on the psychological principle of scarcity and the human tendency to value what is not readily available. Constant presence can breed contempt or, at the very least, a lack of appreciation. This law plays directly into the scarcity principle and recency bias. When something or someone is always present, we take them for granted. Their value diminishes because they are perceived as abundant. However, when they become scarce, their perceived value increases. Think about an artist who rarely performs or releases new music. Their limited appearances create a frenzy of demand. Or consider historical figures like the elusive royalty who maintain their mystique by rarely being seen by the common people, thereby heightening their perceived divinity and power. Their absence fostered yearning and reverence, not forgetfulness. In your personal and professional life, this law suggests that a strategic retreat can sometimes be more powerful than constant visibility. If you're always available, always saying yes, people might start to undervalue your time and contributions. Psychologically, stepping back creates a void that others might feel, prompting them to realize your importance. This could mean taking a planned break from work, reducing your social media presence, or simply not always being the first to offer help. It's about creating a subtle sense of scarcity around your presence, making your eventual return or contribution more impactful and appreciated. The key is balance: enough presence to be remembered, enough absence to be desired. Law 28, enter action with boldness. Let's shift our focus to a law about the power of conviction and the psychology of perceived strength. Law number 28, enter action with boldness. This law champions the idea that hesitation breeds doubt, not only in others but also within yourself. Boldness, even if based on a bluff, projects confidence and often intimidates potential opposition. This law leverages the halo effect and a psychological principle that confidence is contagious. When someone acts boldly, we often attribute other positive qualities to them, like competence or intelligence, even if those aren't directly demonstrated. Conversely, hesitation often signals weakness or uncertainty, inviting others to exploit your perceived vulnerability. Think of a charismatic leader who, even in uncertain times, projects an unshakable conviction, inspiring their followers to action. Or a daring entrepreneur who launched a risky venture with absolute certainty, convincing investors and customers alike of its inevitable success. Their conviction created a self-fulfilling prophecy. For us, in our daily lives, this means overcoming the paralysis of overthinking. When faced with a decision or an opportunity, taking decisive, bold action can often yield better results than timid indecision. It doesn't mean acting recklessly, but rather acting with conviction once a reasonable assessment is made. In negotiations, a bold opening offer or a firm stance can immediately shift the power dynamic. Psychologically, when you project boldness, you often influence others to comply or get out of your way. Your energy and certainty become a force others react to. Remember, fortune often favors the bold because boldness itself is a powerful psychological tool. Law 33, discover each man's thumbscrew. Our final law delves into a more intimate, and perhaps uncomfortable, understanding of human vulnerability. Law number 33, discover each man's thumbscrew. This law is about identifying the hidden weaknesses, insecurities, or pressing needs that drive individuals. Once you know what truly motivates or threatens someone, you hold a powerful key to influencing them. This law taps into our deepest insecurities and desires. Everyone has a thumbscrew, a secret vulnerability, an unfulfilled ambition, a hidden fear, or a desperate need. It could be a desire for recognition, a fear of failure, a hidden resentment, or a craving for acceptance. Skilled manipulators, and even effective leaders, intuitively understand these underlying motivations. Consider a politician who expertly campaigns by addressing the economic anxieties of a specific demographic, knowing that financial security is their thumbscrew. Or a skilled salesperson who identifies a client's specific pain point, then presents their product as the ultimate solution. This isn't about exploiting someone maliciously, but understanding what makes them tick. In modern interactions, this translates to heightened emotional intelligence and astute observation. It's about listening more than you speak, reading between the lines, and understanding the unspoken needs of those around you. What drives your boss? What are your colleagues truly worried about? What does your partner secretly desire? By identifying these thumbscrews, you can tailor your approach, offer solutions that genuinely resonate, and build stronger, more effective relationships. It's not about preying on weakness, but about understanding the psychological levers that motivate human behavior, allowing for more empathetic and effective communication. Conclusion: mastering the human game. We've journeyed through just a handful of Robert Greene's 48 laws of power, uncovering the profound psychological truths embedded within them. From the subtle art of concealing intentions to the magnetic pull of courting attention, from the undeniable proof of actions over arguments, to the decisive nature of crushing opposition, the strategic use of absence, the power of boldness, and the deep insight of understanding vulnerabilities. What these laws reveal, above all, is the intricate, often predictable, nature of human behavior. They highlight our biases, our fears, our desires, and our often irrational responses to power dynamics. The obscure mind believes that true power isn't about manipulation, but about awareness. It's about understanding the psychological currents that govern our interactions, allowing us to navigate the complexities of life with greater foresight, integrity, and strategic intelligence. These laws are a mirror reflecting humanity's raw ambition and cunning. By observing their principles in action, we become more adept at both defending against them and, when necessary, employing them ethically for positive outcomes. They are not a moral code, but a powerful psychological framework. We encourage you to delve deeper into the 48 laws of power and discover more of its profound insights. What are your thoughts on these laws? Have you seen them in action in your own life? Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. If you found this exploration into the human psyche compelling, be sure to like this video, subscribe to The Obscure Mind, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into psychology and insightful audiobooks. Remember, in the grand theater of human interaction, understanding the script is the first step towards truly mastering your role. How will you use this knowledge to illuminate your own obscure mind?